I want to express my deep and sincere appreciation to each and every one of you for leaving all the manifold attractions outside to come in for a few minutes and say hello to me.
I would have ravaged this convention if none of you had shown up. Ravaged it! But you are here, so we'll say no more about it. Except to express my deep and sincere appreciation to each and every one of you for being here today.
I'm sorry for that interruption by the tall man. He does that to me every once in a while. You know, I can't seem to shake him. We did the picture of Phantasm about, what, 1978, 79, and he has been with me ever since. Whenever he feels like it, he just pops up.
No need to apologize for me.
Yes, I know.
You're ashamed of me.
No.
You're nothing but a ham actor. You'd be nowhere if it weren't for me.
Oh, go away. Well, I think he's gone. I did want to thank Tony Timponi and Steve Jacobs and Pete Orr of Fangoria, and Adam Malin of the convention staff, and public relations man Marty Wise out here on the West Coast for setting up my appearance.
Our appearance.
Our appearance. Here today. The Coscarelli organization, Don Coscarelli's company, and Universal Pictures had us here last year for about an hour signing autographs. And we got to meet some of you at that time. When Tony and Steve called this year to say that they'd like us to come back, I said, well, didn't everybody get an autograph last year? And they said, well, we don't want you just to sign autographs. We'd like you to make a brief talk and maybe answer some questions. Well, that was too unique an opportunity to pass up. In the tall man's pictures, they seldom want him to say anything. Usually when the cameras roll, it's, okay, Angus, lift your left eyebrow, jut out your lower teeth, and scowl. Now, you'll have to admit that's a pretty small repertoire for an actor.
I wanted Basil Rathbone.
Well, go dig him up! I don't know how many of you saw the first Phantasm or Phantasm 2. Did you notice in that first one, the tall man had exactly 5 lines. I ran it again just the other night before I came here to count 28 words. I don't know if you'd be interested. Just to prove a point, could we run through them for you while you count? Okay, tall man, you're on.
The funeral is about to begin, sir.
I've been waiting for you.
You play a good game, boy, but the game is finished. Now you die.
That's it. Now, in the second one, they did a little better by the old boy. They gave him 10 lines. Tall man? Let's see how it started. Oh, of course, how it started. Welcome home, boy.
You play a good game, boy. Come east if you dare. The graveside service is about to begin. If you want her, come tonight. I've got them both. They have no need of your services. You think that when you die, you go to heaven. You come to us. Hello again, and goodbye. No, it's not.
Well, you've seen the whole both movies now. That save you a couple of bucks rental on the videotapes. Well, the secret is, of course, I don't want to take too much more time, but often the less a villain says, the more frightening he is. And then, of course, when he does open his mouth, it can be memorable. I'm thinking, for example, of Bela Lugosi in the 1930-31 Dracula. Remember that scene where, right at the beginning of the picture, towards the beginning, where he's climbing this broad staircase in his castle with Renfrew timorously following, and suddenly from just outside the castle, very near, you hear the sound of wolves howling. And Lugosi turns with this sort of light smile on his face. He says, "Children of the night, what music they make." It's quite a moment. It's unforgettable, electrifying. Well, now the screenwriters, if they'd wanted to satisfy the actor's ego, Bela Lugosi had been less than the very wise actor he was. They could have made that line longer. They could have written something like, "Children of the night, what music they make. It isn't Beethoven, it isn't the boss, but still, it's not." But no, that wouldn't have worked. In Frankenstein, the first Karloff Frankenstein, Karloff didn't have any lines at all, not one word. But he came up with an ingeniously, brilliantly ingenious series of sounds, guttural noises, groans, growls, snarls. And of course that was one of the most memorable horror pictures of all time. In fact, to my mind, one of the greatest pictures of all time. But then when they got ready to do the second one, about 2 years later, they did The Bride of Frankenstein. And Universal Pictures decreed that the monster should talk. Their thinking was, well, we have this great new horror star. The public's going to hear him speak and say something. So Karloff was absolutely appalled. He argued, look, speech is stupid. If the monster has any charm at all, it's because he's inarticulate. But the powers that be prevailed, and the screenwriters were forced to write some dialogue. I think it was in that scene, 15 minutes in, where the monster escapes and makes his way into the forest and comes upon the hut of the old hermit. And this blind old hermit gives him something to eat. And Karloff says, "Food, food." Well, that isn't generally known, but actually the screenwriters had written a much longer line for Karloff in that picture. They had him saying, "Food, food, maybe just a pinch of oregano. You know where I like this dish? You ever try Nate Now's in Beverly Hills?" Well, fortunately, Karloff put his foot down. He said, no way. We've got to draw the line, fellows. I'll just do the 2 words, if you don't mind. Food, good. And Karloff knew what he was up to. And I certainly said more than my 2 words. I've said enough to carry the tall man through his next 10 pictures.